Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Samantha. In this video I'm going to show you how to make clove oil. Now clove oil has lots of uses and benefits, but when it comes to hair it can help boost hair growth. It can also be used to treat dandruff. It can be used to soothe an irritated scalp, and that's just to name a few. If you want to know more about the benefits of clove for hair, just watch the video that I've linked on the screen and in the description box below. It's also used as an antiseptic, and also traditionally it's used for oral health and dental care. So to make the clove oil, you're going to need fresh whole cloves. So if you've got powder, you can use it, but it's not going to be as potent as whole cloves. So the issue is when it's milled into a powder, some of the essence will actually evaporate, and therefore that's why it is more beneficial to use whole cloves when you're making clove oil. So you're also going to need a jar. The best would be to use a dark jar, like a brown jar or blue jar, but I don't have one and I'm using this clear glass jar, which is still fine. Make sure you've sterilized it so that there are no germs in it. So first of all, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of the cloves into the jar. And then the next step is to lightly crush the cloves. So I'm just going to use my little pestle here to crush the cloves very lightly, but you can use anything that you've got to hand. So the reason you want to do this is to release some of the oils which are already present in the cloves. And as you're doing this, you'll actually smell the aroma, that it becomes more intense, and that's exactly what you're looking for. So this will help to infuse the oil much better. And then next I'm going to add my oil. I'm using extra virgin olive oil, but you can use any oil of your choice, which is a good penetrating oil. Good options include almond oil, coconut oil, sunflower oil, grapeseed oil. Any of those will be good choices. So you want to make sure that the cloves are completely covered by the oil, so that they're completely submerged. And then the next thing then is just to shake everything up, and that will help to mix the cloves and the oil and to begin the infusion process. So to start off the infusion process, I'm going to warm up the oil with the cloves in it, and we do this by putting the jar into a pot with hot water and then simmer the water at very low heat for just 5 minutes. So we're not boiling the oil, we're not cooking the cloves, we're just warming it up to improve the infusion process. Using heat this way is optional, so you don't have to use the heat if you don't want to. If you prefer not to use heat, you can put the jar straight away into a dark cupboard and leave it there for the infusion to occur. So after warming the mixture for 5 minutes, we want to take it out and then allow it to cool down completely. So if you're using a dark colored glass jar, then you won't have to do this next step. But because my glass is clear, then I have to cover it with the cloth. This way it'll prevent the cloves from being affected by the sunlight. So I'm just doing this until it cools down. And then once it has cooled down completely, the next step is to put the glass jar into a cool, dark place and leave it there for at least 4 days. I left it in for a week because I think it's better that way. The longer you leave it, obviously, the better. Some people even leave it for 2 weeks. After a week, this is what my clove oil looked like. The infusion had happened, and already you could smell that the oil had been properly infused by the cloves. So as you can see, there's still small particles in there, and if you're going to use that in your hair, then those would be pretty tricky to take out. So we're going to strain everything. So you can use something that's fine, a cheesecloth or anything you've got to hand, but I prefer to use the end of a pair of ties because that's going to be very fine and it's going to trap all the small bits and leave me with a nice, clean, clear oil. So you notice that I didn't strain anything, I just let gravity do its work, and because it's an oil, it was able to seep through, and as you can see, the oil is now in the jug and we can discard those bits of cloves. And here it is, here is our beautiful clove oil. Now I strained this, and I know some people prefer to leave the cloves in it, but because it was all crushed and you had the small bits, that's why I wanted to strain it. But if you leave it like this, then this oil is going to be fine for at least 4 months. But if you want your oil to be even more potent, what you can do, which is what I often do, is actually add about a teaspoon or even a tablespoon of fresh whole cloves into the oil and then leave them to infuse even longer. So obviously the longer you leave them, the more potent the oil becomes. It's recommended that you only do this, keep the cloves in the oil for a maximum of a month. Otherwise the clove oil will become too potent and then you're more likely to get side effects and irritation. If you're going to keep it for longer than a month, the oil, then make sure you strain the whole cloves, and then the oil will be fine. Alternatively, you can just add more oil if you've been using it. Just top up more oil, and that will help to just dilute the concentration of the clove oil. So this is it, my lovelies. That is how we make clove oil. This is one way to make clove oil. I know there's several ways to make it, but if you make it, I hope you'll come back and let me know. And this little clip here, I just wanted to show you how you can use clove oil as an antiseptic. So you just take a piece of cotton wool, dip it in the oil, and then just apply it to small wounds, small cuts, and it can help to keep those wounds nice and clean and help them to heal. You can also do the same if you've got dental pain or any gum issues. So this is it. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please hit the red subscribe button and also give the video a thumbs up, comment, share, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.